road trips with toddlers. Doesn't that give you anxiety? Road trips with kids in general. We've done over 25,000 kilometres with our car and caravan, touring around New Zealand with our 2 toddlers. Our youngest was 5 months when we did our first 5-week road trip, with our eldest being 18 months. They are now 2 and 3 and are very used to being in the car. I focus on the 3 important things, which are food, entertainment and comfort. And I'll give you my top tips in this video. Hi, I'm Emily and I run the Organised Mum Lifestyle YouTube channel, posting every Friday on our adventures around New Zealand. I'm a full-time working mum, so I also share my organisation techniques on how I manage all this juggle so that we can make the most of the children at the age they are. My first tip is to plan. Get the car ready. Do this when they're not around. Vacuum it out, make it a nice environment. Make sure you've got what you need in there. We have an emergency box.
So here's the box that sits in the back of our car. You've got a fire extinguisher you can see there. There is a first aid kit which has everything in that we need. It's not the tidiest in here, but you can also see we've got water bottles which we use all the time. We've got a picnic mat, high-vis, you never know. And then we've got lots of different types of hats, whether that's beanies, sun hats. They can fit a variety of people. We've got nappies still in there. We've got jumpers, jackets, more hats. You can see you've got even more hats. You can see I've got the sun cream, I've got bug spray, extra snacks, things in there. I do update this every 6 months-ish, take out things, replace the water, replace any snacks. The ever so useful kitchen roll, and also nappy bags that you never know you need to put stuff in. The hats just keep coming. They just keep coming. Also towels and blankets, which are really useful if you need to wrap, keep people warm. I have no idea why there's a swim nappy in there. Always useful to have these things on hand, just in case you ever need them for the children or somebody else or ourselves.
Plan your drive times. Plan when you're going to go. We have always planned around our children's naps. When they were small babies, they were napping 3 times a day. We were having to plan around breastfeeding schedules. I have to admit that was the most challenging, so we were having to plan around the schedule. Then we added into a mix the toddler and a newborn baby, so we were having to plan around the toddler's sleep time, which was never the same as the other one. But now it does get a little bit more easier. We still plan around nap times, even though the eldest isn't napping. We know it will be a time where he needs quiet. So plan around those times. We'll often leave at about 10 o'clock in the morning to hit the road. We very rarely drive through the night. It's just too inconvenient to the children, taking them out of their beds. We'll sometimes leave early in the morning if we have to, but there's not many times we've done that. We make a day of it. It's about the journey, not the destination. Doesn't always work, that saying, but if we can, we make it about the journey. So we plan lots of stops, lots of times to tire them out. We'll only ever travel for no more than 2 hours in a block. Often most of our trips are a maximum of 4 hours a day. Sometimes we're needing to do a little bit more, but we'll then look at the map and go, where can we stop? What playgrounds can we go to? What entertainment can we do? Where can we have a picnic? Is there a beach we can stop at? Tiring the children out. Then it's not just about sitting in the car for 4 hours, it's about stopping somewhere and having an adventure on the way. What's great about the caravan is we can pull up, park up somewhere safe, and I can cook lunch. We've been known to pull up, get the kayaks out, go out on the lake. I'm cooking a pizza in the caravan. They can come back having played on the beach, and then we'll have lunch. Because it is about that journey and that travel, and that's still part of the holiday. One of the big things, particularly living in Auckland, is traffic. So don't plan when you know you're going to sit in traffic. So sometimes if you do want to hit the road early, it's not worth it because you're just going to sit in traffic. If we travel on a weekday, we'll plan to travel at about 10:30, which actually works quite well because we'll run around with the kids in the morning, we'll hit the road, we'll do 2 hours, and then we'll do something tiring. And then next thing we know, we're on an afternoon nap time, so they'll sleep for the next leg, getting us to our destination about 5 o'clock, breaking up a 4-hour journey into different blocks in a day. Food. Pack lots of snacks. We give ours a lunchbox with little snacks in there ready for them, and that's theirs to control then. They can have that lunchbox, they can eat it at their own time, and then I do have extras. and always making sure they're accessible, whether you've got them in the front or you're reaching around at the back. Do not put them in the boot and do not put them in the caravan, because that will mean pulling over for those important snacks, which you don't want to do when you're making good time or you're on the motorway. Giving them those snacks. Popcorn's a really good one, but I am so fed up of cleaning up the popcorn around my car. I'm having to vacuum it up. However, it's a really good healthy snack. I find I spend half my life turning around opening packets. Mummy, can you open this? Mummy, can you open this? So maybe you don't do pre-packaged things, try and take them out of the packages to give them in their little pots. Water bottles, having their own water bottles. My youngest Tilly is having great fun with pouring her water bottle into her cup holder. So she doesn't get much water, she gets just what she needs, and then I keep refilling it. So I've got another bottle in the front that I can keep refilling. But they've got their water bottles, as long as they don't pour them out all over themselves or pour them into their cup holders, which is the current favourite. Don't forget about Mummy and Daddy. Often Daddy's doing the driving, so I'll have snacks available for us. We'll have our snacks, maybe a nice treat like a can of lemonade or a can of Coke, and we'll keep that in the front so we've got them. Remember, everything they see you eating, they're going to want as well, so it's not like you're going to have much different treats, but as long as you've got your snacks, keep you going, keep the journey. Yep, we stop for lunch, we like to have a little bit of a stop, and as I say, we might cook a pizza and have lunch, but having those snacks is really important. Entertainment. We do have iPads. The kids have their own iPads. We try not to use them in the car. We really try to save them for when things don't go to plan, when we get stuck in traffic, when we get delayed, because I don't want them to rely on the iPads. The iPads are for quiet time. They'll often use them in the evening when they're winding down, but I do have them available and I do have them charged. I would say in the 25,000k that we've done with the caravan, I've probably used them 3 times. We got stuck in some really bad traffic, we weren't going anywhere for quite a few hours. I did resort to the iPads then. Other times where things have just dragged on and the trip seems longer than it needs to be, I'll resort to the iPads. Colouring books, sticker books, they're really good. I've got a really cool IKEA pack which they can open up and they can do drawing. It works as a table, that's really good as well. Sticker books are quite handy as well. They can get the little stickers out and put them in their colouring in books. What we tend to find is that because we're planning the 2 hours quite well, they don't need to be too badly entertained. Our kids are so used to sitting in the car, they like looking out the window, they like spotting things, they like chatting. And the other thing we do is music. We've got Spotify playlists, so we'll put different music on, they'll be singing, we'll take requests. Really cool feature our car's got is we can move the speakers to the back. So music's dominating in the back and not in the front. So when you've had enough of Coco Melon for the 10th time, you can just about hear it in the back, but it's not dominating in the front. The next thing I needed to develop is a completely different thing coming out of our speakers as theirs, so we can have an audiobook and they can have Coco Melon. We'll work on it. The other thing we have is a toy box in the middle. We have this all the time. I'll change out the toys. They can have the little toys within that toy box. They can share, they can fight over it, but the toy box is quite handy so they can be playing with their toys whilst they're in the car for what they can reach. I also give them their own bags, and in that bag is what they've chosen to pack. They like that because it's their bag. They use that bag at daycare, so then I'll put their toys in it, and they've got their own access to their own things that they've got separate from each other. Don't forget the charging cables. The charging cables for your phone, which is running Coco Melon. The charging cables for the iPad that you might need. The charging cables that you're going to need for anything on the trip. Don't leave them in the caravan or in the back. Make sure they're available in the front and you've got all the USBs and adapters that you need for that trip. Comfort. Comfy clothes is a big one, particularly with the kids' car seats. We often travel, it's nice weather, we're off on our summer holidays, so the kids will be in shorts. Problem with shorts is that means the kids' seat belts are rubbing on their little legs. You often have to put them in leggings or trousers so they don't get that rubbing and their car seats fit better. But generally, comfy clothes that aren't getting in the way, all those pretty tutu dresses, no point wearing them in the car. On the topic of comfort, pack a potty. We are going through potty training, we're nearly there with the older one, we're in progress with the younger one. Pack a potty. I've seen various different tips on different travel potties and different options. We do have the caravan attached with its own toilet, but often it's not convenient to park up, open the side out and use the toilet, but we do have a potty. Now I'm blessed that my children don't suffer from car sickness, but I do have car sickness lollies and sea legs available if they do start to have car sickness. It's quite important to have that if you do suffer from it. The lollies I haven't tried, but they do look quite good, even if they're just taking their mind off the nausea for the next few minutes whilst they eat their lollipop. Also, keep the air conditioning slightly colder than you think. You can always put a blanket on. Children need the aircon slightly colder to sleep. Getting too hot is often worse than getting too cold. You can put blankets on, you can put covers. They quite like the blankets for comfort. They find them quite snuggly. They have a pillow, particularly on the longer journeys. So keeping the aircon that little bit cooler, I find, makes them sleep better and be more comfortable during their journey. So what are your road trip hacks for travelling with toddlers? Share in the comments below. I'd love to hear suggestions that you've got and ideas I haven't thought of. As my children get older, the challenges get different. I think the iPad use is going to go up and the patience might get less. They are very used to it though because they've done it so many times. I've got a lot of adventures coming up. I post every Friday. We've got some adventures in the caravan as well as a few flights booked, and I'm going to share everything in my YouTube channel. So I'll see you in my next video.